the best gift a man can give a woman beyond sexual technique is just full attention, wholehearted attention on her being and her well-being. I believe it was Gordon Ingalls that first talked about the idea of preconditional love. People talk about conditional love, and unconditional, but preconditional is simply awareness. That's what children crave. They want somebody to look at them, to pay attention to them. And we all need that. And for the guy to be able to be with a woman and truly pay attention to her and her needs, not just the mechanics of her body's response, but her full being, that's a big deal. And what you were describing with navigating being a man today is I totally agree. I mean, it's almost like a bizarre, not parallel, but similar course to what feminists went through, that women, wanted to become the superwoman and earn the money and do this and have the status, but then they also had to be the wife and the mother and the lover and raise children. And I know a lot of people in China, and those women they're not happy because, with the one child policy that they had up until recently, there were fewer women, and the women that were allowed to be, which is sad that it was that way, their parents loved them and they really pushed them. And these women are now the big drivers in small business in China. And they are phenomenal for what they can do, but they put off getting married till their mid-30s, and they're working 7 days a week. And then they have a husband that has these values from the 1950s where they expect the woman to cook and clean and wait on them. And the reason I know about that is I know someone that deals with fertility clinics there, and women are having extreme problems with fertility. Now that may be, the environment, the plastics and all that too, but it really puts them in a no-win situation. And guys are kind of falling into that now, where, the Me Too culture, which was totally justified, in the United States, that is needed to talk about, the challenges women still have, but it has put guys in a position where they're afraid to take the initiative. And then, I've talked to several women where they want the guy to be, well, women are, I'm never going to say I understand women, but at least based on my observation in general, a lot of women want different things from time to time. Sometimes they want an equal partner. Sometimes they want somebody that will be dominant. Sometimes they want to dominate their partner. It just, and the guys are like that too. But the key thing there is just communication, being able to honestly express. It's like the distinction between massage and sex that I talk about frequently. If a giver, or let's say a man is giving a woman a massage, and the original intention is just physical therapy, but then the man becomes aroused or the woman becomes aroused, when does that change to something sexual? And the problem is you don't know unless you both can honestly express what your intention is behind, because it can change.
Hits on a very, very interesting point, because and maybe further down the line you can explain about your amazing product. And I was using that with my partner, and as you're speaking about sort of that arousal response that naturally happens with a lot of men when they do step into that massage space, my reflection on myself was, yeah, I noticed that I'm getting aroused because I'm in this position of giving to my partner. But there's also, I guess, a concept in therapy. It's called bracketing. We have to bracket our assumptions and bracket ourselves. It's almost like holding ourselves back a little bit, or at least a bit like a container, really holding yourself present, but not doing anything with that. And I think that's something that a lot of men do need to learn how to do, is basically holding that sort of arousal response, being able to eroticize the situation, but not necessarily doing anything with it. And that's where I think concepts like consent and communication based on consent, even if you've been with your couple, within the couple for years and years and years, are concepts that I don't think many men have understood and are only starting to be confronted with this. And I think it's incredibly frightening for a lot of men to become being confronted with that. And especially from the standpoint of when you are confronted with that, not knowing what to do on an emotional level, because it's a shock. And something I always say, you know, the woman that you choose is always the mirror to who you are and your potentiality. So if you have a woman that's holding up that mirror to you and going, this is what I'm hoping that you're going to be, and you all of a sudden have this feeling of, oh, I can't deal with this judgment, this criticism, what usually happens? There's a defensiveness, there's a pushing back, there's a trying to rebalance that I guess that polarized masculine and feminine, rather than actually being able to just sit with that and go, yeah, I'll accept that. I can be in that. I can be in that discomfort with you.